I'm saying, happy birthday, Jesus. And then, you know, you may be saying, hey, wait a minute, this is not December 25th. What are you doing with all these carols and all this stuff? Well, let me tell you, I don't believe that Jesus was born on December 25th. And there's a lot of people that agree with me. Most historians and even church leaders today say that December 25th was not the date of his birth. Theologians and historians have poured over scriptures and astrological information and the dates of the time of Roman leaders for all kinds of time. The result is numerous dates. September 11th, 2003 seems to be a favorite one. I don't know. I can't do all these figurings. And then there's August the 21st on 207 at noon. I mean, they really got that one down. Or maybe July, or even January. How about May or June? They all think they have the answers. But you know, at this time in history, there were three calendars. The Jewish calendar, the Roman calendar, and a Persian calendar. Which one were they using? Who knows? And an astrological calendar even so. So how in the world did this December 25th stuff get started? Well, it's a long story, so settle down. In ancient times, people didn't pay much attention to birthdays. Then, with the death and resurrection of Jesus, all the attention turned toward death. And St. Paul really emphasized this because his message was, without the death and resurrection of Jesus, we have nothing. So by the beginning of after Jesus died, then the interest was primarily in Easter, and that was based on the Jewish calendar. But then along in the early 300s came Constantine. He was an aspiring emperor of Rome. He was a clever, ambitious, a warrior, and an interesting man. Very, very clever man. And at that time, the Roman Empire and the Christian Church were in disarray. The Roman Empire was segmented out. It's like every state in California had its own little leader. That's how the empire was. Every little place over here had its own leader. Constantine didn't like that. He's head honcho. So he began going out and fighting with all these other small, and of course, beating them and consolidating the Roman Empire. And it worked out well. But then when he got done, there was still unrest because the Christians who were in disarray were being persecuted by the pagan leaders of Rome, and there was still no peace. So Constantine, told you he was clever, decided that he would declare himself a Christian. And he did. He's not a Christian. But he didn't say that the pagans had to go away. He left them alone. I'm a Christian, I invite you Christians. It was to his advantage to invite the Christians because they were a growing group. And in order to maintain his empire, he needed their support. So now he has declared himself a Christian. Now, I got some questions about that, and we'll get to that later. But as he looked at the Christian community, he saw how they were all in disarray. there were the Ebionites who believed one way, and Marcionites who believed another way. There were the Gnostics. And then there were what were called the Proto-Orthodox. These were the ones closely around Rome. The others were scattered throughout the Middle East. And he decided, oh, by the way, before I go any further, Orthodox is not like the Greek Orthodox Church. What they were talking about when they said Orthodox was right thinkers.
They're right.
But then the heretics were the people of choice. They didn't say they were wrong, they just made choices. No. And so Constantine decided that he needed to get this Christian church organized and under his control. So he called in 325 AD a big conference in Nicaea, which is in Turkey. And it was like, I think, 1,800 different church leaders to this meeting. Now, the meeting was very successful for Constantine. They established a sort of a canon, which evolved into the New Testament, but they particularly brought the Nicene Creed and the Apostles' Creed forth as this is the belief of Christians. Now, this is it. And the word went out, if you can't do this, get the heck out of here, or we will kill you. That's simple. Or you can join up. Well, let's join up. And so that was the time when Christianity was crystallized, if you want to put it that way, into one. They gave in ecclesiastical power to the clergy, formed structure, and that was the building of what was the Catholic Church at the time, or Christian Church, however you want to look at it. It was almost good. Constantine had one nation, one Orthodox belief, except there were still the pagans. And they were going about their way merrily. Well, now the pagans were a natural religion. They looked to the stars and the moon and the sun and all the rest of this as part of their religious belief. Well, it happens that December 23rd is the winter solstice, the time when the sun is at its lowest level, and it is the most dark in the northern hemisphere. But 2 days later, on December 25th, the sun starts moving back to the north. And those pagans said, this is the time to celebrate. The sun is coming back, light is coming back. We're going to celebrate the god of the sun, who is called Mithras. And they had big celebrations. They knew how to do it. And the Christians started looking at this and said, hey, that's not bad. Hey, let's join in. So immediately the church fathers had to do something. I mean, we can't have our people running over here in pagan things. So they established Christ Mass and said, this is the time to celebrate the Son of God, Jesus, the light of the world. They grabbed off what the pagans were celebrating, the light returning, said Jesus is the light of the world, and they offered their own celebration to keep the Christians from running away. So about 330 AD, the church established December 25th for the celebration in honor of Christ, the light of the world, and the true Son of justice. and it became his birthday. Oh, by the way, just one, I told you I questioned Constantine. Constantine, the Christian, was baptized on his deathbed, just in case.
Cover all the bases.
What can we learn from this bit of history? Nobody knows when Jesus was born. He could have been born August the 4th, 03. We don't know. Does it really matter? Does it really matter what day that our master teacher came onto this earth? It could be important, but in the big thing, in the big picture, is it important? No. So his birthday could be today, tomorrow, next week, next month. And that being the situation, and we don't want to miss Jesus' birthday, do we? No. Let's celebrate Jesus' birthday every day of the year. Why not? Why not? Now, I'm not talking about all the food and all the presents and all that. I'm talking about the goodwill, the peace, the love that we expound upon at Easter, at Christmas time. Let's carry it into our lives, our everyday lives. Let's be as tolerant today as we would be for Christmas. Let's be as joyful today as we would be on Christmas. Let's greet our friends. Let's give out love. Feel the peace. And say, happy birthday, Jesus, every day of our lives. The thing about this December 25th thing, people allowed opinions of others to affect how they behaved and what they believed. And as part of the lesson today, besides celebrating Christmas all the time, we have to stop and take a look. How often are we led by the opinions of someone else? Do we look at the facts, or do we listen to the naysayers or whatever else? Just because somebody says it on television does not make it so. I think there's more lies on that than there is truth. And just because a person in power says something does not necessarily make it true. Many times they're looking out after their own interests more than they are the truth. Let us know the truth from within. Follow your inner guidance. Celebrate life. Today is Jesus' birthday. So is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Jesus! So